So, thank you for being here with me, tuning in. I have been guided to share a little bit of an experience that I had last night. Quite honestly, my human is terrified of sharing in this way. It's a little bit new, but I cannot deny the messages that I'm hearing. So basically, as a result of some activations I received, I had what I am calling, a visceral experience in the fifth dimension. I experienced my heart chakra widening and spinning and just opening, as well as my third eye. And it dipped me into a dimension that I believe we have access to through the natural DMT that our bodies create and secrete when the circumstances are aligned. And it was absolutely awe-inspiring and life-changing, as it were, and I have been guided to share a little bit of my experience. So here goes. It's a real place. I'm not alone, and I'm not crazy. So this started with me lying back and having a meditative experience in which I was seeing with my third eye, and then I grabbed a pen and just tried to start journaling a little bit of it. And what happened, I believe, is that my heart chakra was totally open. I had grounded myself into the earth. My hands came in prayer right to my third eye chakra, and some unification of sorts occurred in order for me to channel what I believe is an element of my higher self. I kept the journal to read until just recently today. This happened last night, and it's very obvious to me that these were not my Selena, my three-dimensional self-conscious words, because I was reading them for the first time today, while at the same time remembering something that I already knew. Paradox. Anyway, so I'll just continue. The more I focus on it, the more I see it. And the response that I received was focus on separation, more separation. So the opposite end of, I was focusing on this fifth dimension, and it just expanded. And it's nothing out there, it was within. It came completely from within. So the response I received was, stop worrying about what people think. You know what is true, you see the illusion. Come back to your center, come back into alignment. It's an ever-flowing stream that you always have access to. You must tap in. Jump in. You're a powerful healer. Become still. Hands are portals. They can direct the energy with focus, breath, and intention. And at that time, I had one hand here on my heart center and one just below my belly button, breathing. And I say, New Earth is a real fucking place. And I was likening it to the DMT world, in which I perceive it as always being there. And when we take this substance, which DMT is produced naturally in our brains and in the pineal gland, aligns us with the frequency of New Earth. So the response I got was, it's always there, you just need to align. To clear the channel, energy flows. 3D is an illusion, wake up. Help others awaken to who they are. Stop fighting against the world. Move into the heart space. It's an intense time. Big awakenings. Stop trying to think your way out of things. Slow down. Create a harmonious, energetic channel. And then I was reminded by this woman that basically created this activation in me last night. Her name's Christina Martine. Thank you. Deep deep respect. I see you. In Buddhism, there's a concept called longta, which translates as wind horse, and it basically is saying that how your energy is flowing is going to determine what kind of thoughts you're able to channel, and that in turn determines your perspective and basically can change your entire experience. And then I wrote portals opening, and I just went inward and had this experience within myself. And when I came back, I just grabbed a pen to try to journal about the experience I had. And while I was writing, I realized I was still in it, and I was basically straddling both worlds. So I'm writing. I just had a visceral experience. I stepped completely into the 5th dimension as a result of the activations I received from Christina. The most expansive and incredible, bearing present witness to my heart chakra. And I entered this space, which I've only been able to induce through psychedelics and other substances, but this was completely otherworldly and inside of myself. Let's see. And then this powerful self-esteem and deep self-love and confidence binaural and isochronic beats thing came and played on YouTube while I just leaned back onto my bed and my hands fell into this. It was kind of like a prayer pose. I don't know. It was obvious to me that it was an activation, for my third eye. My hands just fell into this position. The way that I described it was like a drop of water down a channel, and it has but one path, the path of least resistance. And so my hands just fell into this third eye expansion position. I was saying it was almost like a subtle pull of my body into position. It was a pull and a falling at the same time. It was the place where the energy needed to concentrate in order to activate, in order to open, in order to align. I felt my heart chakra and my third eye chakra like I've never felt them before. I'm telling you, they're real, they are living, they are conscious, they are a part of us. We are a part of it all. Nothing's separate. I was saying, I'm so grateful to have found myself here. I knew I wasn't crazy. Hello. And the response I hear is, thank you, thank you. There is no way to enter without the proper frequency. Highest love, gratitude, honor, and responsibility. Get over what you think people think. You are a pioneer of sorts, bringers of the dawn. And I say, can I stay in this heart expansion? How do I open more? How do I hold this in place? I feel it has been so fleeting in the past. I want to stay here. I want to broadcast from here. And the response I got was, be diligent with your practice in all ways. Practice being a parent, a friend, the day-to-day. I was reminded not to complicate things. It is so simple. And just being in the now and ceasing to fight with reality. Always flowing. The eternal now is always flowing is what I channeled. And then I say, I'm so grateful, thank you, I see you, and received, we see you too in Lakesh, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. In the Mayan tradition, in Lakesh literally means I am another you, recognizing the mirror in the holographic universe. And then I got congratulations on your first channeling session. Kind of this like excited energy, like I was being witnessed, like this expansion was being witnessed by my team. And I say, may I ask your name? And I got Galactic Council, High Council, Watchers, Overseers. And during DMT experiences in the past, I had this very visceral experience of what I call my council, the council. And I don't know if this is the Galactic Federation or if it's my own personal council, but there's very obviously a dozen beings that are helping me, and 13 has always been my lucky number. I make the 13th. I'm part of this council. We're all working together towards a common goal. And I receive the third eye is literally a gateway. Don't forget to ground, connect with earth, go to the center and breathe. And I say, and this has been a bumpy ride, but the dots are all connected from this viewpoint. And at that time I was having, it wasn't even a vision. I was physically there in another dimension on top of, a Mount Everest of sorts, viewing everything from this higher vantage point and this long trek I had taken to get to the top. And I say, can I stay here? Can I operate from here? And the response I got was, it's always here, always accessible, but you must adjust your frequencies to match. It's like a radio, almost exactly like a radio. You literally must tune in. It's a matter of frequency, all frequency. And then I ask, is this a part of my higher self? Is this my higher self? And they say, everything is everything. The multiplicity is an illusion, a cast of characters, and when it comes down to it, they're all you. Yes, this is a channeled message. So in my mind, I was thinking, not even asking a conscious question, but like, am I channeling? What the heck is going on? And I received, yes, this is a channeled message. Sop it up. This is how you do it. You're doing it. So there's this definite element of humor, which really helped kind of anchor in the truth of this, and just keep it a little lighthearted, because I can be really serious about these kind of matters. And then I sat thinking about turning the page and received, don't be afraid to turn the page. Nothing is anything but a blank page anyway. But blank is boring, and it was time to have some fun. Frequency, it's right there in front of your eyes, but you're not looking with your two eyes, rather with the third eye, which is really the first eye. Now you see. Then I just realized I had my pendulum, which is a rose quartz. I reached down, was like, what's that? And realized I had put my pendulum, which is a rose quartz heart opener, right down into my top, and it was right up against my heart chakra, and was receiving a confirmation that was definitely, it played a part in my trip. Let's see, awakening. Once your third eye opens, it never really shuts, but you must work to keep it open and not take it for granted, which I definitely have done in the past. This is a real place that you ascend to once you reach a higher vibration, very much an energy language that takes a certain level of openness and willingness to jump into the unfamiliar, the void of not knowing exactly what's going to go down. It's a feather bed. It's a fucking feather bed. Kind of referencing, I think it's Terence McKenna who quoted, don't be afraid to jump into the void, the great abyss. It's a feather bed. And I was asking, there's all this talk about the event in the spiritual community, and I was curious, was this my experience of the event? And the response I received was, it comes in waves. It's different for all, depending on every factor involved, including belief systems, personal karma, diet, disposition, and general spiritual well-being. I say, how do I contact you again? And they say, vibration, match the vibration. I say, how do I know that it's you? They say, intention, protection. We are many. And I say, 12. They say, yes. Acting as one, frequency, you will know. And I say, thank you for connecting. It has been everything I dreamed of and more. Let us speak again soon. And they say, set it. We are always on time. I say, thank you. I love you. Many blessings, all love. And I felt this slight kind of a pulling away of energy, as if my body was like silly putty is the closest image that I got in my mind, and it was stretching out. It wasn't breaking, it wasn't separating, it was just stretching. And that was to remind me that everything truly is all one, and the separation is an illusion. I said, I'm on another dimension. I feel as if I was walking around in another dimension, and I was meeting these new, like, classmates, for lack of a better term. It's the higher dimensions. I'm being admitted inside, vibrational match. And then I was referencing the radio example again. I was reminded of my call to plant medicine and stone medicine in my work with jewelry, and I was shown that reminded that these are our allies in the ascension process. These are living, breathing beings. The stones and the plants is just an energetic existence. I said, how do I keep this in the default world amidst the illusion of anger and fear? Because I have dealt with a lot of that in my third dimensional experience. I know I'm not alone. And I know the more that I share, the more I'm going to connect with people, beings that, have had similar experience, and this is how we heal. I say, amidst the disease of judgment, how do I stay with it? And they say stay with it. There's no need to overcomplicate, just simplify. And I say it's unbelievably incredible to really be with you for the first time. And they say truly all deserve the same reverence and respect, just different versions of the one. And I say, I realized that this was flowing. I didn't want to stop. I said, does my mother sense my connection and my presence? And they say, very much so. Her higher self always sees you. She is always with you. And I say, any messages from her? And it comes through very clearly. She says, keep on keeping on, and then this too shall pass, which is something she said to me a lot in life. And I say, I love you, Mom. And she says, for that, I love you too, which was kind of our little mom-daughter language. I say, thank you for giving me life. And she says, you gave me life too. We birthed each other, teachers of the highest sort to each other. I am awake in you always. Just tap in. And this is like a roadmap she was giving me to contact her consciousness. She says, think of me, think of love, think of joy, all of the happiness, the happy times. Open your heart to the possibility that I am there. And she says, I am there. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Which is the Ho'oponopono prayer, if any of you are familiar with that. And this is my mom's higher self speaking to me. This wasn't her conscious, struggling, third dimensional egoic self. This was her, I was told this is her higher self. And she says, I love you, I love you, I love you. I was learning to love myself. You were one of my teachers. We agreed, came together to clear it. She said, I did not fail. I chose to move on. It was a decision for the greater good. If you could see what I see from your perspective, you would understand more, but it is okay. All is meant to be. Higher light quotient for the greater awakening. We all play our parts. This was so my mom. This was my mom's higher self, no doubt, and you know what I mean when you come to have these experiences yourself. You move away from the logical, rational, linear thinking mind, and you can understand that energy, moves in waves and spirals. And so this is the council speaking again. They say, take vibration seriously. All is vibration. It's the keys to the kingdom. It's you. It's in you. Ground yourself before you share yourself, so you won't be so scattered. These are just some random tips, and know that it is real. I say, this is incredible, thank you. And they say, we are here, we are grateful as well. Let's see. It was obvious to me that I can't just, at least my mission is not to ascend completely into these higher dimensions, that I am necessarily dipping back into the third in order to continue the paradigm shift and the awakening. And they say there is a real order to things. It is all available. It is available to all to access, but you must attain the keys through the vibrational match. So many are waiting for you here. Welcome, truly welcome. And I say I appreciate and am honored by this most awe-inspiring reception. Again, imagination is so much more real than we give credit to. There was a reception. I was being received. It was a rite of passage, of spirit, of sorts. So grateful to be here. Everything is vibration, and they say, you are welcome to stay. All are welcome this way. And then I was reminded, that I was in this theta brainwave state that is this deep meditative state, which is, if you're familiar with Dolores Cannon et al., that it's the brain wave that she attains in her somnambulistic hypnosis, where the client essentially is able to walk themselves through past lives, pertinent past lives, and touch in with their source consciousness that speaks through them. And it was a very similar experience, and I'm studying these things, and so I believe this experience was granted to me in order to understand it more fully from more angles. We remind you to play, to take time in your day to expand exponentially into the moment. This is how your book comes through. They know I have a book that I believe is written in some other dimension. Come out of competition and into creation. You are already whole. And then I just go into all these tips for myself of breath work, yoga, meditation, earthing, grounding, nature, spring water, oxygen, mineral salts, my crystals, my pendulum, my divining rods, tarot. And it says, you already know. Just tap in. Turn the radio dial. Reach out. We are here. We are always here. Trust your intuition. Listen to the voice inside. It knows there is nothing new under the sun. And then sun gazing came to my mind, and it was like, check, look it up. So any of you sun gazers out there, I'd love to speak with you. Just a few last little notes. Prana, become aware of polarized emotions. Try to stay in the middle. Surround yourself with high vibe frequencies. The time has come to connect. The stations are broadcasting, and I got this image of all of these dots, which each of us is one of those, and expanding into the eternal now, and then the dots connecting to each other, and it was the grid work. And I'm getting chills just speaking of it because it is a very real thing. Just look to nature and you will see, again, everything is everything, no need to fear. It seems so, so, so far away, yet is really quite near. You can harness this power and use it at will. Hone your skills. All is one. Believe and you shall receive. And I'll just end it right there because I'm feeling called to some meditation, but this has been extremely expansive. I can feel through all of the timelines of people that this has connected to, will connect with. Thank you for your contributions. It is such a beautiful place, and respect the journey. I'm looking forward to connecting with more of you who are on this path. Inevitably, we all are, but actually walking this walk is so new to me. I've been talking the talk for almost my entire life, and I've finally stepped. It's a fucking feather bed. On to the next. Blessings, Satnam. Thank you so much. Blessed be.